We know there's a lot of activity going on in NFL, and one of those topics has been the tush push. Some people are in favor of it, a lot of people that are not in favor of it. So, in today's episode, here to bring it, NFL owners have agreed to table the tush push talk and save it for a later time. And then we're gonna talk about some other things that came about with some rule changes for the NFL. We're gonna talk about it and break it all down right after this.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm holding it down for me and my co-host, Steve-O. But still, if you locked in and you tuned in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. This is one of those things, y'all, has been talked about for the last few weeks, especially since the Green Bay Packers was one of those teams to kind of lead the charge and go ahead and say, hey, we should ban the play because they don't see it as a good football play and there's player safety concerns. Well, come to find out, heavy discussions this past weekend, but leading up to it, hey, all NFL owners have agreed to table the talks, at least for now. Now, this is something that I could see be revisited in the next offseason. And it could very well go away or it could very well stay, but I don't see the discussions talking about the tush push going away anytime soon, especially later this season when you see the Philadelphia Eagles go out there and do what they do and grab those first downs on third and fourth down by executing their tush push, the play that created. Now, it's being said that right now they're potentially gonna table these talks simply because it's not enough data. We heard guys like Sean McDermott come out. You heard guys like Andy Reid come out. Raheem Morris has been reported as being some of the coaches that didn't necessarily like the play. There were player safety concerns, but to go out there and say that there are some player safety concerns, one of the things that a lot of people wasn't too on board with was that there's not any data that pretty much backs up the premise that a lot of those coaches were coming up with, was saying that this is not a good play. It's not good for the sake of the players and whatnot. Now, I understand the anticipation behind it. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that there is nothing that's going to happen to put player safety in jeopardy because you already seen lawsuits of the past happen in the NFL had to fit the bill, especially when it came to head trauma and then what's being talked about over the duration of a player's career with CTE and things like that. So they had to do and talk about it. But I was on the side of don't ban the play. That was my position on it. Don't ban the play simply because the opposing team can't stop it. I would say, hey, when we grew up playing football, and I believe the same thing still matters today. The lower man typically wins. Now there are some people that are saying, hey, now you're allowing offensive players to go out there and push defenders out the way. Can defenders go out there and push offensive players out the way to try to gain leverage on the defensive side? So I think that and expect teams that are going against the Philadelphia Eagles or the Buffalo Bills to go out there and say, to hell with it. We're going to go out there and push back too now as defenders. It's going to be very, very interesting to see if those referees are going to throw flags, especially at the start of the season, because if you are one of those teams that run it like the Buffalo Bills, like the Philadelphia Eagles, you're going to see teams say, hey, we getting right behind our 3-tech, our 1-tech, our nose tackle, and we going to go out there and we going to push that big fella right up into that center and that guard, and we going to try to stop the Philadelphia Eagles from trying to gain this 1 yard or stop the Buffalo Bills for trying to gain this 1.5 yards. So it's going to be very, very interesting, and I think what's going to draw some controversy is that if referees start throwing flags on defenders, I think that's going to be something that you see when it comes to the tush push. If defenders start to push their big guys up front and try to gain some leverage for themselves, and then that becomes a problem if referees start to throw flags. Now, I know we remember in the playoffs, I believe it was, the Washington Commanders, they were just jumping off sides for no reason. I think it happened like 3 times in a row, and then the umpire holding down the entire game was like, hey, if they do it one more again, we're gonna have to allow the score to go in. I'm like, hold on, what? That's an actual rule. So that was something that I learned this past season as well. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a topic that we can continue to discuss, and we will continue to discuss, because it's gonna be some players that just don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you don't have to agree on this side, but as of right now, the play has been tabled, and that's what the reality is. You can still go out there and you can state that I don't like the play. I don't think it's a good football play. That's more rugby style play. Hey, to each his own, buddy. To each his own. But what's up to my people in the chat? The one and Jacob Hone. What's the word? But some other rules that are coming to the NFL, or some rules that did not get passed. We're talking about the touchback. If there's a touchback, the ball now moves to the 35-yard line, which is crazy. So, and it kind of makes sense, because the NFL doesn't really want to have much downtime um, during their games. So you want more guys to go out there and encourage more returns to happen, because hey, y'all see the logo. You see the logo. I remember seeing Devin Hester catch that ball and take it to the house. I remember even watching other guys around the league, like a Joshua Cribbs, catch that ball and damn, excuse me, and take it to the house. And one of those plays right there, when the guy's able to grab that kick return and take it to the house, is a very exciting play. Not just on punt return, but kick return too, especially because the way that it can flip a game, or the way that you can grab momentum within just that one play, can change a lot of things and change outcomes. Hey, the Bears fans, we thought we had us a Super Bowl bid. Oh, Devin Hester caught that thing. I'm just saying, he caught that thing, took it right at the opening kickoff. Oh, look, call it what you want, but it was great to see during that time. But as before the last rule change that took place this past season, you ain't see too many kick returns happen. You just seen a field goal, a kicker go out there and kick it through the uprights, or kick it through the end zone. And it's like, all right, y'all just wasting time and wasting excitement. I guess this is a time where I should be just going to the concession stand after my team scores, because then you got the field goal and then you got the kickoff, and there was nothing really to look forward to. But now with the rule change, it seemed like they're trying to encourage more plays with some action, and I'm all for it. As long as guys are taking care of themselves, there is nothing reckless happening. I'm all for trying to encourage more teams to coach up special teams. It is a third phase of football. It's not just offense, defense, but special teams is an important factor to football as well. And I like that it's well rounded. So if you don't want to return the ball and you want to go out there and you don't want to give a guy opportunity to return, you are going to lose something. And that comes in the result of 35 yards. I'm all for it. One thing that happened is that there will be no modifications to the offside kick. It's okay, I guess. But the chances of winning an offside kick are pretty much slim to none. I would have loved to see that, like in the fourth quarter. Maybe the NFL, you already stole rules from the USFL already. You should have just implemented some type of rule change to where, hey, if a team is in the fourth quarter, they can elect to onside kick the ball or go for a 4th and 15. And if they convert, they keep possession. I think that would have been perfectly fine. And just to see if you can create a little bit more excitement, a little bit more suspense within the sport. I hope that it is tabled right now, but I do hope that they can revisit that, because I think that you should give teams the opportunity. If I go down, score 7 points, or go for my 2-point conversion, and I'm still down by 4 points, give me an opportunity to go for a 4th and 15. And then we'll see if we can make this thing a little bit more interesting. I think that is what will keep the suspense in the game, especially in those moments where it's like, all right, you're down by 12 points. It's going to be very, very tough to come back in this game with such limited time, but I'm all for it. I would say they revisit it at a later time, but as of right now, onside kick modifications, ain't nothing happening. The Detroit Lions, they proposed a rule to eliminate automatic first downs on defensive holds and illegal contact. That did not pass. Me personally, as a guy that played both sides of the ball and special teams, I think that the offense they have a clear advantage on a lot of the fouls that happen. And the NFL is that they understand that fans want to see the excitement. A lot of people don't really get into the hard fought defensive games and view that as boring. Me, you can call me a football purist. I love when it's a tough matchup and the coach has to coach their ass off to get points on the board, or a defensive guy or both defensive coordinators are battling it out and shutting down the opposing team's offense, and you got to absolutely figure it out. So I would have loved to see maybe not a complete elimination of the first automatic first down, but some type of change to it, I guess, if that makes sense. But just to say that because a guy held, if it's 1st and 15 and the guy is holding automatic first down with 5 yards, so the next play is 1st and 5, I'm kind of on the side of the Detroit Lions right now, because every time a person is being held at the 5 yard line and it's 2nd and 10, it doesn't necessarily mean that that player was going to gain that extra 5 yards. So I'm kind of on the side of the Detroit Lions here. We're pretty much saying, hey, let's not automatically give somebody a first down just because we held. What about when they hold us? Would that be some type of ramification for those guys? Yeah, but it's not my decision, so we continue to live with it. I'm gonna still be upset with it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because those could be some game-changing moments, and I think that every yard is valuable. And you just handing a team a fresh set of downs. What if it's 4th and 15 and somebody holds, and the guy only held them at the first 3 yards, wherever they're lined up? A defensive back holds the wide receiver 3 yards into the route. You mean to tell me he was going to just automatically pick up those other 12 yards? Nah. So I'm on the side of the Detroit Lions with that, but it did get shot down. So we just move on. Some good things, though, is that they have agreed to expand replay assists. Thank you. Thank you. Go out there and expand replay assists. This is not the 1980s, not even the 1990s, not even the early 2000s. You have replay assists for a reason, because you see multiple times to where quarterbacks, they slide late, or a referee, they're throwing a flag and saying that it's a hit to the head or it's something crazy. And the referees can only go off what their eyes are telling them, and you can't fault them for everything. But if you got replay assists and be like, hey, Patrick Mahomes slid, he did get hit, but it's not a hit to the head. The defender actually hit his shoulder first, and then Patrick Mahomes, his head just leaned into the defender, which caused head-to-head contact, but it's still a legal hit. I'm not saying that all plays happen like that, but in playoff games, we have seen those plays affect outcomes. So I agree with the replay assist, especially because if you got 300 pounders surrounding a quarterback, and then a ref just throws the flag because they believe it's the defender hit somebody above the neck, and it wasn't really a hit above the neck, we got to call a spade and be fair to those defenders too. We just can't have the game being called in favor of the offense. We want there to be a fair advantage. So I'm all for that. And I hope that they execute it well, especially when it comes to like holding calls or personal foul calls, because those calls can change or outcomes and take momentum from the team that's trying to grab the momentum back to give themselves an opportunity to win. Let's keep that fairness in the game. And then one of the last things is that there will be changes to the overtime rule for the entire season now. Both teams will be allowed to possess the ball in overtime, with that overtime session being 10 minutes. I'm all in favor of that. Me personally, look, these are professionals. You should be able to go out there and get it done. But hey, I say, with the way that the league is and the way that they depend on that money and that bottom line and the way that the league keeps expanding, they're going to give fans what they want to see. They're going to see a team go down, score a touchdown, and they want to see Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts matchup and see if Lamar can respond to a Jalen Hurts touchdown or vice versa. Or get a Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow matchup and see if Burrow goes down and score first. And you know how good Patrick Mahomes is. Can he come back and respond now and keep that suspense within the game? Yes, it's going to be tiring as hell. So that's another discussion. But I think it's a fair way to keep the game as fair as possible. Obviously, there are more changes that have to come. There are more things that need to be done, but I live with it. I live with that. It's not too bad. But my only concern is if we're talking about player safety, what if a team is on Sunday night and they go overtime and then they got to play on a Saturday or a Friday or a Thursday? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be consistent when you're talking about these things. Then when you're talking about the NFL, you have to be consistent. If player safety is the number one thing, you got to think about playing that extra quarter. Now I'm playing 5 quarters of football when most overtime games, if you go down and score the touchdown, it's over within just a span of a few minutes. But now you want guys to go out there and have an opportunity to play an additional 10 minutes. So that's an hour and 10 minutes of football. Hey, good luck to those players, though, man. Good luck to those players, for real. But hey, we definitely got some guys up in here. We got my man's Jay Capone joining live. What's the word, my guy? The Packers started with thought it, it was chicken ass. They ass so out of luck, gang. So, bro, it is what it is. You even heard Matt LaFleur come out and say, "I just don't think it's a good football play." Stop it, big dog. I seen teams like Tampa Bay stop it. I seen the Kansas City Chiefs stop the Buffalo Bills because the Buffalo Bills was just executing it wrong. Go out there and don't be afraid to coach your guys up. And that's why I say when it comes to the tush push, it's going to be interesting to see if and when a defender pushes a D tackle or pushes an edge to try to gain leverage, will a referee throw a flag? Because that's what's going to spark the controversy, and that's what's going to help gather more steam to banning the play at all, banning the play in totality. And then you also have to gather more data. And if you present me with data that say, hey, this is not a safe play, I'm all in favor of that. The one in the building. What's the word, my guy? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. And the big homie, he said, blessing, Bobby. Blessing to you and yours, my boy. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm happy you was safe and hope you turned up. I know I was turned up with the family. We got to kick it, play some games. We played some Pokino. We played left, right, center. I lost some money, but it was still fun as hell. It was still fun as hell kicking it with the family. And then I got to see my grandpops, take them out to some lunch. Hey, it was a great weekend for me, bro. Hope it was the same for you and yours. Jake Capone say, Bobby, with the NFL letting teams wear their alternate jerseys for a time, will we ever get our polar bear cocaine uniforms? I hope so, bro. And I would love to see some of those alternate jerseys be worn more than, you know what I'm saying? More so than not, because I think some of those alternate jerseys, when it comes to some of those teams, they just dope as hell. Like if you look at certain teams, maybe like the Jets, I think they got a nice alternate jersey. You got the Philadelphia Eagles, they alternate jerseys cold. You got the Washington Commanders, who was formerly the Redskins, who got some cold stuff. My Chicago Bears got some good alternate jerseys. Hey, so I'm all for it, man. Let people go out there and rock what they want to rock. Give them an opportunity to rock those fits. It's just that one thing. Yes, this is me hating on the Packers. I don't give a damn. That ugly ass blue jersey with the yellow letters and them brown pants, they look like poop. And that's me hating. And that's me hating. That shit ugly. For real. But hey, I ain't want to take too much of y'all time. Just wanted to come out and we talk about some of those updates that's happening around the league. So I appreciate all y'all that was able to chime in and tune in to have, and I hope y'all enjoyed the discussion, man. Me and Steve-O, we pumped out a video. So if you ain't get a opportunity to listen to this morning's daily episode, go ahead on over and check it out. Let us know how y'all thinking. We continuing with the draft storylines about how some teams need to continue to improve, or what should they be doing about a specific player on a team, or now that they have new head coaches, what should they be doing? So we're going to keep that series going leading up into the draft. We got 23 days left. So, hey, we're going to keep that thing rolling. So make sure y'all go ahead and check that out. And we will keep dropping the shorts so y'all can see that, get a little glimpse of the video before you before you want to go ahead and watch the whole entire video. But hey, y'all make sure y'all have a good rest of y'all day, man. If some more news going to pop off, I'm in the crib. Finna go get this pot ready, this pot roast in this crock pot. But hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Hit that like button and subscribe before y'all roll out. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.